My name is Ryan from Askreddit Tells, and today we're going to be looking at even more r/entitled parents. But before we do that, make sure you're subscribed and also hit that notification bell to stay up to date on all the latest videos. You upset my kid, so buy him a super expensive toy. I was grocery shopping with my grandmother. The old lady was struggling with those shitty plastic bags at the vegetable aisle, and you need some kind of magical powers to open them. After I finished teasing her about how she was struggling, I give her a paper bag, saying, "Here, it'll be easier and it's more environmentally friendly anyway. No sea turtles will choke on it." Since I was talking to an 87-year-old woman, my voice was a bit louder than it would be in a public setting. Since she's not hard on hearing, no Missy, not at all. Everyone else is just too soft-spoken and doesn't know how to articulate, and TV sound systems have gone to shit over the years. No sooner I ended that sentence that I heard wailing in the vicinity of my hip. I looked down and there was a little boy clutching his plushy sea turtle and crying as if I just killed a bunch of sea turtles myself in front of his eyes. Oh crap, I told myself, because I miraculously managed to have enough self-control to not curse in front of the kid I already managed to traumatize a bit. My very supportive grandmother grinned at me, wished me good luck, and walked away at the hunt of chocolate cookies or another sugary item she pretends her doctor told her she could totally eat with her diabetes and tries to sneak in the cart when I'm not looking. Between the overgrown toddler that I call Meme and the real toddler that was still crying his heart out, I decided to deal with what I thought would be the easiest and crouched down to the boy's level. "Hey kid, you heard what I said?" I asked in my soft, "This is a dangerous animal that will attack and kill you if you make too loud of a noise or sudden movement" voice. The kid nodded his head quickly and forcefully. I lightly put my hand on his head to make him stop, because I was a bit afraid he'd make himself sick or snap his neck or something. "Where's your parents?" I asked him. Then it only occurred to me that it's been about half a minute and no parents came to the rescue of their screaming kid. The kid pointed me to a woman a bit farther away. She was leaning on her cart and looking at her phone. I have to admit that I rolled my eyes and internally passed judgment on this woman, while completely forgetting that I too spend time on my phone in the store looking, since it's where the shopping list is. I was now a judgmental bitch as well as a toddler's traumatizer. That was not a good day for me. Nonetheless, I took the kid's hand and walked him to the woman. She didn't notice us approaching, nor standing there. The kid had calmed down a bit, but he was still sniffling and hiccuping and making weird crying noises that only toddler have the secrets. "Excuse me, miss?" She finally looked up from her phone, looked at me in a somewhat dazed look, then she finally noticed her kid, who was still holding my hand and clutching his sea turtle, clearly upset. She took her kid away from me, a bit forcefully. Her face changed into a crazy angry bitch, and she yelled at me, "Why are you with my son? What have you done to him?" Since I was feeling guilty, I took the yelling, and tried to explain the situation. Seems that he overheard me talking about the effect of plastic bags on sea turtles. I tried to phrase it in a way that I avoided to say in front of the kids, that sea turtles are dying again, in the stupid hope that he had already forgotten what he heard about 2 minutes ago. Of course, the mom doesn't understand me and I need to be more explicit, so I literally spelled it out and said that they choke on it, because I lost my brain and sense of ridicule in the vegetable aisle, apparently. Of course, the kid wasn't entirely stupid. He might not know how to spell, but he knew what we were talking about, and he didn't have any issue with the immediate memory, so he went back at crying. The mom ignored it. To her, the appropriate course of action here was to scream at me some more instead of trying to comfort her crying kid. "Why would you tell this to a child?" she asked me. I didn't tell him that. I wouldn't do something like that. I was talking to my grandmother and didn't see him near me. He simply overheard, and I'm sorry he overheard that. I defend myself and finally managed to work in the apology that I wanted to give since the beginning. "You shouldn't talk about such sensitive topics when there's kids around." And she still screamed at me. At that point, I'm low-key impressed that her voice isn't hoarse already. "I didn't know that your kid was there," I repeated. I tried to go past it because blame is good and great, but there's still an upset and confused kid there. "Look, I'm knowledgeable on the topic and I'm used to working with kids. Would you agree that we explain all of it to him and together so that he could understand better and be less afraid for his best friend. "Are you calling me a bad mom?" she screeched. Confused because where the hell did she pick that up from, when I answered, no? I have to confess, in petto, I was thinking that when I started to consider, woman, your kid's crying in your arms, and you're more focused on me than the kid. What the hell? Then it occurred to me that it's time to get myself away from the situation. I apologized again. I said, "I'm sorry I unwillingly upset your son," I said to the woman, but I couldn't just leave without trying to reassure the kid somehow. "Don't worry, your friend will be fine if you make sure all the plastic bags your family use don't go in the water." As I start to walk away, the woman grabbed my arm. "You stay here. This is not enough. I want you to buy him a toy to compensate." I foolishly agreed, thinking about the little €3 toys that they sell in the shop. They always have little figurines to do with the sea, but no, she had something else in mind. She brought me to the toy aisle and pointed out the electric cars. Okay, here I understood the kid surely asked for it. She doesn't have the money and is trying to use me to get it for him. I can't afford that. She tried to start to argue, but I cut her off. Look, I left my elderly and sick grandmother alone long enough. I need to get back to her. And I walked away very quickly, as if I had eaten a really spicy chili the night before and needed to find a bathroom quickly. When I came to my grandmother, she had added Oreos and chocolate eclair in the cart. Then I had to convince her not to go find that woman and hit her with her cane. She only agreed to let go if I let her keep the Oreos. EM threatens to call HOA over yard work. Backstory: so during this whole quarantine kerfuffle, my dad offered to pay me to help him trim up a couple of trees around our property. I'm out of school for a while, so I agreed. Today we were working on one tree at the front of our yard. My dad was using a chainsaw to cut down a tree that had grown next to the tree we were trimming. I was standing off to the side watching, trying not to get hit by the tree. It was like 12 feet. When my neighbor, EM, walks up and taps me on the shoulder. EM: "Excuse me, but what are you doing to that tree? I just want to point out that I've never really met my neighbors, I just know who they are." Me: "Oh hey EM. We are just clearing out the areas below the tree." EM: "Well, you can't cut it down." Me: "What? I thought she meant the tree that we were already cutting down." "Oh well, we are clearing out under the tree to make it look nicer." EM: "No, not that one, the main one." Me: "We aren't cutting it down." EM: "Yes you are, now tell him to stop." Me: "Trust me, my father isn't going to cut down that tree." EM: "Do it, or I'm going to tell the HOA." Me: "Alright then." Small pause. "Are you going to tell them or what?" EM: "Teens these days are so stupid and sassy." Me: "See ya, EM." Just to let you know, EM has tried several times over the years just to report us to the HOA, but first off, we don't have one. Second off, she keeps trying to form one behind our back, but all of our other neighbors are against it. She's threatened to call the police on my family before, and her nice husband had to talk her down from it. My father asked what she wanted, and I just told him that she was acting crazy. He totally agreed, and we cut the second tree. And that does it for today's r/EntitledParents. If you liked it, make sure to check out some of our other stuff and even subscribe. As always, my name's Ryan from Askreddit Tells, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.